Welcome back, Daydreamer. Today we're going to mold some rocks, we're going to sculpt and paint some scenery, and we're going to make a cool rocket effect.
Ragtag Daydreams is sponsored by NewTypeHQ.com.
So as always, if you're new here or you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, like this video if you like it, and if you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when I put out more videos like this one. If you're looking for a way to improve your Gunpla modeling, learn a new skill, possibly airbrushing, possibly diorama making, or making your own effects and things like that, then you're in the right place because that's primarily what this channel is all about. I really want to share information with the rest of the hobbyists out there. This is a great hobby to be in, and I really enjoy this community. As I mentioned in the intro, we are going to be working on some diorama stuff, which means we're going to have to mold some rocks faces, and we're going to have to work with some plaster cloth to hand sculpt some of the terrain and make sure that those molded rocks don't go anywhere. Then, of course, we are going to give this a rough paint job just to see how everything's going and get an idea of where the water line needs to be, that kind of stuff. So we're going to be working with some sloppy brush painting. We're going to be working with plaster cloth. We're going to be working with some lightweight hydrocal plaster. We're also going to be doing some wiring and, of course, some more of our favorite polyfill from our dust effect on the Zaku Warrior diorama. Okay, so I went out and got some new rock molds, and the reason that this is wet in here is that I basically, you see a little bit of suds working up there, okay? What basically I did, and I learned this from having the prior rock mold that I just can't find anymore, is if you spritz this with a little water, take your finger and just kind of like touch the top of the cap of your dish soap and then rub it around so you're just getting a little film, okay, of soap. It does help this stuff release later on. In this bag, I have my water and my hydrocal. If you're not familiar with what hydrocal is, and I'm just mixing this up this way, okay? I feel like it gives you a good mix. This is what I'm talking about. Okay? This is a Woodland Scenics product, so it's meant for like railroad dioramas and things like that. And the box will tell you to mix this with 2.5 parts to 1 part. So I think I got a little too much water in there from what I saw, what I'm seeing here. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Sometimes you gotta eyeball this, but you kind of want it like pancake batter, okay? That's the consistency you're really going for. If you've ever iced a cake, at some point you haven't had your icing bags around. So what have you done? You've taken one of these and cut the tip off and used it to apply the icing. And that's what we're gonna do right here. This keeps things mess free, and then when you're done, you don't have to do anything with the sealed bag except for throw it away. And that way you make less of a mess. Okay, see how that works? And let's get this propped up a little bit because it needs to be more even than it is. There we go. And it'll level inside there, okay? Okay. Okay. And I actually made too much. I'm seeing now like about twice as much too much. I'm gonna try to bump this guy up like that. That's the biggest thing with these molds, is that you need to make sure that they're leveled in some way, or at least close to it, or you're gonna have a lot of spillover, and nobody wants that. It's just more cleanup to do in the future. So we're gonna come back to this when it's dry. Okay, so then here we go. We are a few hours in, just left it, and there's some swirls here that show that it didn't get mixed super good, but it got mixed probably okay. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Not bad. I may have to, turn that off to get a good shadow. Yeah. That's okay. That's quality. All right. Let's see about this one. Oh, that came out really well. All right. Not bad. Lots of detail. Okay. Final one here. Okay. Yeah. Yet again, not bad. Not bad at all. This is going to look good. I'm going to leave these out for the rest of the evening, clean this out, and finish up. Okay, so this is kind of straightforward. Basically just placing everything out, making sure that everything's in the right spot, where I want it to be, where I can imagine that it would look cool, and then we're just going to get down to the plastering. That's kind of speaks for itself. We're going to hand wrap everything, and I'm going to pay extra close attention to any gaps that the molded rock doesn't cover. The big deal there is I really want this to be secure. I don't want it to be jostled. I'll probably take it somewhere at some point and show some people, especially at my hobby store where I like to build with a group there. It's a local group. They're great guys. And I don't want anything like with a car ride or anything like that. I don't want that to mess any of this up. I want it to look good. So definitely paying attention to a lot of the smaller areas to support those molded rocks and to make sure that we don't have any chip out or anything like that. Okay, and of course, like I said, we're going to do a base layer. Now, one of the biggest reasons why I want to do this base layer, I know that some of it will be scratched off whenever I start doing the test fit with the Zaku, okay? That's okay, okay? The biggest reason to do a test base on this whole thing like this and just get that paint everywhere is really because I want to get a better understanding. I want to be able to see this stuff. I want it to help my imagination a little bit, because really, when it comes to diorama making, you're building something that's just like straight up out of the imagination. It's the same as kind of scratch building and things like that, stuff that people have a hard time doing. So I'm trying to make this easier on myself, because it is kind of difficult from time to time. Okay, and so here we're just going to work with regular Vallejo Mal airbrush paint. This is a pretty close color that I had already from the Halloween episode, actually. Yeah, that's why I bought this color. I was like, what? When did I use this color? That was from the Halloween episode. So the Halloween episode, I used the blue-green color just to make like the kind of rainbow cloud effects, the night sky, and all the clouds are like pinks and purples and blues and blue-green, and I think that kind of made it look a little bit more fantastic, very 90s Batman kind of thing, you know what I mean? Just wild colors, and something I was going for anyway. So I thought it turned out pretty good. You should go check out the video if you haven't seen that one yet. But basically what I found was that it was a little too blue and not enough green from what I was going after. So I went ahead and added a little bit of yellow that I had laying around, just to kind of test drive on some other pieces, and I progressed that up. So I put a drop in, ran it for a little bit. It definitely greened up a little bit, and then put just like a shake off half a drop in there and stir it up, and it gave me a lighter tone. And the lighter I went, I started using much smaller little random strokes, and I was trying to make highlights like the sun going through the water, and you can see the highlights of the rippling water on top. I don't know, it's like refractions but underwater, and you can usually see it on sand and whatnot underneath the water. I may not be explaining that correctly, but that's what I was going for. Now this is where I'm getting excited because I really wanted to do something like this for a while. So essentially we're just going to use the polyfill, okay, and you can get it anywhere. I got mine at Walmart, so it's the stuff that fill pillows and stuff like that in, but it's the polyfill. It's not the cotton. Cotton's not really going to work the way that this stuff will. Essentially, I'm just using super glue to put it together. I am using an old sprue, actually a sprue from the O. That's from this week's Whip Wednesday. Haven't seen that? Check that out. And I'm using that to then attach our lights. Yeah, our flickering LEDs that we already took apart. So that's pretty cool. I can use that so that hopefully it will, whenever it's seen in person, it will look like it's actually on, thrusting. Thrusting? Is that a good enough reason to use the word thrusting? Probably not. Just solder those together, push the wire up in there, done. Okay guys, so I went over a lot of stuff, and I know it was kind of like a third of this, a quarter of that, half of this project, and all that kind of thing. It's all the same project. Remember, this is a giant build that I'm trying to undertake here, okay? So I appreciate if you watched through all of this, because I know that it was a lot. But I think this came out really cool. I mean, that's awesome to me. Like that looks pretty legit as is, and as soon as I can get to it with some paint, and so any spot where I'm seeing a little bit of the sprue like way down in there, I'm hoping that will go away once I paint it, because you're just putting another layer to kind of hide, to disguise, to camouflage it. I'm not gonna go like black smoke by any means. It shouldn't be black smoke. It should be like a light gray, brighter smoke. So I'm not gonna go white or anything like that, but I'm gonna highlight it with a few darker ripples and then give it kind of a gray look to it. So I am coming up on the end of this series though. There should only be a few episodes left maximum. Like I'm thinking 3 episodes, and this whole project is gonna be completely done. So what would you guys like to see next? I'm really thinking about taking the O, which I mentioned again, it was the Whip Wednesday. I'm really thinking about taking that and doing some cool stuff with it. I've got a few options around, but if there's anything that you guys just really want to see that you maybe seen on a Whip Wednesday or something like that, let's say how to remove nub marks from clear parts, stuff like that, let me know in the comment below. As always, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Every subscriber, every like that I get really does mean a lot to me. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Like all my stuff, please. Don't forget to submit your works in progress and other really cool builds with my Google form in the description below. Until next time, Daydreamer, I'm Justin, your Ragtag Daydreamer, and I'll see you soon.